Hey everyone, welcome to Everyday, your daily stop for virtual reality content. My name is Dee, and today we are checking out Kokiri Forest, which is a recreation of the original Kokiri Forest level from Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, for the Nintendo 64, and we will be playing it on the Oculus Rift Development Kit 2. This was recently ported to Development Kit 2, DK2, from the original Oculus Rift Development Kit 1, and if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you're one of my old viewers, hey guys, you will recall that I did play a version of the Kokiri Forest level on DK1, but it was not this one. It was completely different. It was actually by a different developer who created it in a completely different way, and it had different features. In my opinion, this one is actually more interesting and better. So this will definitely be a cool new experience, not just for DK2, but also to check out all the cool features this developer has added that the other developer didn't. The person who developed this, interestingly, is their handle is DarkAkuma. If you're not familiar with DarkAkuma, that's probably a reference to Shin Akuma, who was one of the boss characters from the Street Fighter series. They play fighting games a little bit, but actually they don't play them a lot. They just got their name from there. They mainly play a lot of JRPGs and MMORPGs, and for example, EverQuest, World of Warcraft, Chrono Trigger, and the Zelda series, of course. And Ocarina of Time is one of their favorite games of all time, and they just wanted to be able to recreate this level that they had so many fond memories of. And they are, they're not a developer, they're not running an indie studio, anything like that. They just are an ordinary gamer who picked up some Unity skills and recreated this level because they wanted to do it. And I think that's a great story for all of you gamers out there who have never developed anything at all. Really just, get your hands on Unity or Unreal Engine 4, which have great Oculus Rift support right out of the box, and watch some tutorial videos on YouTube and go ahead and dive in, and you can build something from your school, from a game that you like, anything you feel like. And it's a great way to just get started in building virtual environments that other people can explore. Even if you don't have an Oculus Rift, you can post it online, and other people with Oculus Rifts can give you feedback about how it feels to be inside that space, which I think is really fun to do, because how often have we in the past been able to create spaces that other people can explore like they really feel like they're there. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into Kokiri Forest and see how true it feels to the original. Alright, here we are in Kokiri Forest. We start out inside this plain gray cube. Nothing interesting in here, and we have a menu. The menu lets us select among 5 variations on the Kokiri Forest scene. So I just use my arrow keys. I'm going to be using keyboard and mouse for this demo just because it makes it easiest to do certain things, even though you can use your Xbox 360 controller for most things if you want to. And I'm going to start out with the first one, Kokiri Forest Day. I'm going to hit Shift R to reset my camera, and there we are. And I am 12 years old again, stepping out of my house for the first time in the Kokiri Forest and seeing the three-dimensional world of The Legend of Zelda. Here we are. And here is where I would walk up to the ladder, and Saria would run up to me and be like, "Yo, Link! What are you doing up there? You gonna sleep all day?" That's not what she said, but you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I am here, and there's plenty to explore. Let's see if I remember how to jump. Space. So the spacing, in the original game, you didn't actually have a jump button, and jumping was certainly not this abrupt. I think that's one of the issues with this demo, that the jumping is quite abrupt, and the walking speed is very slow, but I can hold shift to walk a little faster. I can see my house back there. I can tell the scale of everything much better than in the original game. It's one of the benefits of VR. When I first played this demo earlier, I had a few glitches to work out. Like, there was an issue where I was getting, where it was running in 720p mode instead of 1080p, and it had lag, but it's all better now. And I didn't really do anything, I just kind of reran it until it worked. The current SDK has some bugs and glitches that can make it unpredictable to run certain applications, and different people with different systems get different behavior. So right now we're just all kind of collectively figuring out the platform and helping to report these issues so Oculus can get them fixed. And wow, I mean, do you ever miss these like bilinear filtered pixels when you low resolution textures when you walk up to something and it's like you can see like the little stars where it filters between texture pixel values like that? That's something you only saw on the N64 back when 3D graphics were at their very most primitive. And this bridge is all fuzzy and it's got the big holes in it. Oh, I can hear the waterfall. That's cool. Like I said, it uses a lot of textures and sounds and music from the original, so it should feel very familiar to anyone who's played this game. Okay, check this out. The waterfall is right on my right-hand side. I hear it coming out of my right ear, like it's right on my right. If I turn towards it, I hear it in front of me. If I turn this way, I hear it behind me. So the author did a good job of incorporating positional audio into their game. They most likely just found some existing positional audio package and just indicated the position of the sound source in the world, and it took care of the rest. It's very simple. These particle effects that you see floating in the air are actually not exactly like in the original game. They're certainly evocative of it, but they're slightly different. In the original game, they seem to kind of more float down, whereas in this one, they're just kind of spinning in little random circles and fading in and out. But, you know, it's still good enough. It's still reminiscent of the original. I don't mind it. It gives a little bit of an original touch, in addition to the higher resolution. Believe it or not, despite the fact that the DK2 has extremely low angular resolution, roughly akin to, I want to say, like a 480 by 480 monitor, something like that. Even though that resolution is so low, this is still higher resolution than the original N64. There's more detail than the N64 here. Like, I can see those Hylian characters on that sign quite clearly. Which is not something I could do in the original. Incidentally, like, I think this really like gives us an idea of what Zelda games in VR might be like in the future. Like, if Ocarina of Time were in VR, you wouldn't have to walk up to a sign and hit a button to read the sign. You would walk up to a sign and there would be text on the sign and you would look at it and you would read it, and that's all you would have to do. And if you need to see it larger, you can just lean closer, because DK2 has positional tracking. Alright, I want to get in this tunnel and see what's in here. Let's go. I'm holding my control key to duck. The ducking, like the jumping, is quite abrupt, and a little bit disorienting. But that's alright. And you just saw an adjustment. I believe that was this part of the level loading. If I look behind me, the old part of the level is still back there. But I think it's either unloaded or partially unloaded or something like that. And I can hear a sound coming from inside here. It's a giant rock! And another rupee. Alright, I gotta be careful. Oh shit. Oh shit, don't run me over, don't run me over. Whew. Okay. I'm just gonna go right by it. Okay, I'm safe. Oh shit! Whoa! That was a big rock. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. It would suck if Link died before he even got his very first sword. Which I can't get, because this game doesn't include items. But, I think this is actually really cool because it demonstrates the potential. Like, imagine if I had, say, Control VR gloves on my hands, and I could walk up to this giant-ass treasure chest, and I would just be, like, putting my hands on it and pushing it up, and then I could lean over the side using the positional tracking and look at what's inside, reach down in there, pull out a sword, really just hold it over my head, and then I could start slicing with it right away. And it would just all be a totally natural interface. I think that would be so cool. Alright. I better run. Oh shit! Okay. You're not gonna get me, boulder. I'm on to you. What happens if I let the boulder hit me? Let's just find out. Does it kill me? Nope. Just goes right through me. Well, I had nothing to be afraid of then. In the original, it would kind of knock you back and hurt you a little. But it was never very dangerous in the first place. Oops, I think I broke my game. Okay, I am dumb. I accidentally pressed some hotkey that actually froze the game, so I had to restart it. But I'm back. And we have more of this level to explore. So let's get our run on. I think I pressed like Control-Shift-C, or I don't even know what hotkey I pressed, but it was a bad hotkey to press. Alright. We have a place to go here. We need to go see our friend, the Great Deku Tree. Like I said, this jumping is quite abrupt, but I don't mind. This is normally where Miko would block me because he doesn't want me to see the Great Deku Tree. He's jealous. Because Saria likes me and not him. He'll get over it. And here we are. The Great Deku Tree. And he's freaking enormous. Look at that. Look at that. They're casting the whole area in shade, dude. Wow. And it's hard to tell in the original game just when you're standing here getting like the plot from him. But he is super, super big. Like, if you walk up closer, you can very clearly tell that he's got to be like 50 feet tall. His nose alone looks the size of like a car. And like you could just stand under his nose and like be afraid it's going to fall down on you because it's so huge. Here's where the entrance to the level would be. And it's just a great recreation of the atmosphere of this clearing. I do wish he would talk to me, though. I guess the Great Deku Tree doesn't talk to just anyone who comes along. Can I go behind him? Let's see what's back here. Ooh, a Stone of Truth. Hello. What are you doing here? I can't remember if there was a Stone of Truth here in the original. I think there was. Very well hidden. Alright, let's get out of this clearing. I believe we have one place left to visit. Speaking of Stones of Truth, there is a ledge, the one that leads to the Lost Woods, that has another Stone of Truth on it. We will go check that out. Then we will have fully explored the map. This is not a huge level, it is the tutorial level. And they just use it to get you used to the controls, to teach you to pick up things and throw things, to teach you Z-targeting, basic Z-targeting. And to teach you about items and stuff like that, and how shops work. So it does its job. It's a very good tutorial, actually. Did I say Miko? I meant Mido. Mido. You know who I'm talking about. Oh my god, I'm such a bad Zelda geek. Okay, let's keep going. So up there is the ledge that I want to get to. And can any of you guys read Hylian? I can't remember if Hylian's like a real... like if it's a language where they replace each character with a different character from the original Japanese. Or if it's like just meaningless random characters. There we go. Climbing the vines. And this game's interesting also from a technical perspective because when you have to achieve frame rates of like 75 frames a second at 1080p, and with the consumer version of 90 frames per second at what we predict is going to be 1440p, you start to require having lower fidelity graphics. Maybe not this low fidelity, but, you know, considerably lower fidelity than what we're used to in our AAA titles. And I think this is a good example, the original Ocarina of Time, of how you can make a compelling experience that uses very little graphical power. And I really think you could run a stage like this at 1440p at 90 frames per second and not have any trouble. You could run it even faster. There's plenty of processing power to go around. Anyway, here's the other Stone of Truth. Hey, Stone of Truth. And over here is the Lost Woods. Can I go inside? Can I go get lost? Let's have a look. I'm in darkness! But no, I cannot actually go inside. But I can get myself lost in darkness and look at all the pretty lights in the darkness. Which is actually really cool because the DK2 is so pitch black inside when things get dark. I really feel like I'm like in a dark room and there's like little fireworks going off all around me. Or like little fireflies flying around me. It's really cool to look at this. Speaking of fireflies, I haven't shown you Kokiri Forest at night. There's no music at night. It's much quieter. But the lights are still here. And the lights actually remind me quite a lot more of fireflies at night. Hey, little lights. And I would love to see a remake of this game coming to a VR platform, like if not the Rift, maybe Nintendo's own VR platform. Because you know they've re-released this game like 3 times already. There's no reason they can't release it again for another platform. And bring that same great gameplay to and story and everything and characters to another platform that really requires low graphical fidelity like VR does right now, or at least a medium level of graphical fidelity. So there's not much more to see at night other than it just being more calm and peaceful. So this would be a good mode to use if you just want to if you want to relax in the Kokiri Forest. You can just kind of walk over here and you could go in your bed and lie down, and you could just be lying back, listening to the waterfall, looking up at the lights in the Kokiri Forest. Turn your head a bit, see the waterfall, see the water. Over there's your house. You can just lie here. You could fall asleep here. Some people say they've fallen asleep inside the Rift, and when they wake up, they have this momentary but incredible feeling of presence. Like I can just imagine I'm lying here with my eyes closed. My eyes are really closed right now. And if I were to wake up, that might be like, wait, where am I? What are these lights? Do I hear water? Oh, it's a waterfall. And am I in the Kokiri Forest? That would just be so awesome. Okay, there's a couple more modes I need to show you. Elf Bowling. Kokiri Elf Bowling. This is ridiculous, but it is awesome. So, they added these elves over here. Properly speaking, they are Kokiri people. I believe this is the one that calls out to you from the top of the shop. Hey there. And there are 10 of her, arranged like bowling pins. I'm pretty sure this is a metaphor for something. And I'm going to grab this boulder and see what I can do. Do I have a clear shot here? Believe I do. Alright, let's let it roll. See how bad I am. Go! Oh shit, that was a terrible roll. That was terrible. Oh my god. At least it wasn't a 7-10 split. Whoops. Yeah, these are very sensitive, so they fall over very easily. I think I just... Ah! What's happening? Okay. I think I accidentally walked into the other ones and knocked them over. And I can just take this and bring it back up if I need another roll. Drop it again. At this point, I'm just kind of squishing them. Whee! Throwing them all over the place. Can I knock them over with my body? I would like to know. Hey there! No, I can't. Apparently only the boulder can do it. That's interesting. Alright. Well then, it's time to go on. Okay, the next mode is collect the 10 boulders. In this mode, there's a little fenced-in area by your house, and you can collect boulders and put them in there. And when you have all 10, you declare yourself to be done. It's not a game that keeps track of how you're doing, as far as I know. You pretty much just have to keep track yourself. And you don't have to, carry them or push them up over the fence. You just kind of stick them through the fence like this. Put them down. There you go. That's one. And there's another one up there. And I'm not quite sure where the other 8 are hidden. I haven't seen any of them, but I'm sure they're around. There's probably some around the Great Deku Tree. Probably one in the area with the sword. Oh, there's one. I'm going to grab one more. Then that'll be enough for this mode. You guys get the point. I see you, boulder. I didn't actually show you this tree trunk. This is like the one to the Lost Woods, just another tree trunk ending in darkness. I believe this was originally the tree trunk leading out of the Kokiri Forest, across the bridge to Hyrule Field, where you can only go after completing the first dungeon. In this demo, by the way, you move in the direction you look. Some people prefer to be able to control the way they look and the way they move separately, but it does make it a little more difficult. So I'm totally fine with that. And in you go. That's 2. So I'm not going to find the rest, but you get the idea. There are 8 more to be found if you search the whole level. And I'm going to go on to the final mode. The final mode is a mystery. So if you don't like spoilers, do not stick around for the final mode. Something seems familiar about this. That's what it's called. So far, it looks totally normal. There's nothing at the foot of the tree anymore. So what gives? What's happening? Ah! Whoa! Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! They're everywhere! Giant boulders everywhere! They're covering the whole level! Sometimes after the boulders drop, if I jump in just the right place, or if I walk in the right place, I'll actually, like, fall off the level. It's a little bit glitchy. Oh, look at this. They filled in the ponds. Whoa! Yeah, see, like, I jumped there, and suddenly I'm up in the air. I'm flying! Link has wings. Am I just standing on the boulders? Is that what's going on? Or is there something else going on? Doesn't look like I'm standing on the boulders. I kind of wish there was a mode where I could just fly above the whole level and look at it from above. That would be cool. Let me down, oh my god! Okay, so that... Whoa! And now it lets me down. Crazy game. So yeah, this is Kokiri Forest, and I think it is a great recreation of the original, very nostalgic. And in addition to that, it adds some fun new elements that you can play with and explore. It doesn't have all the elements of the original. It doesn't have the characters or animations. It doesn't have Link. It doesn't have items. It doesn't have the shop. I can't go in the shop, right? Can I go in here? No, this is just blackness. Okay, so even though it doesn't have those elements, it adds some fun new things, and it's just a great example of a gamer who is really enthusiastic about the games of yore, recreating one that other people can enjoy, and building a made-for-VR experience around it. And I really hope that you other guys out there who haven't ever touched anything like Unity before can take some inspiration from this and grab some tools, either Unity or Unreal Engine 4. And, you know, Unreal Engine 4 is only $20 a month, and you can go ahead and start building Rift stuff with it in just 5-10 minutes. And it's a great way to get started as a VR content creator. So I'm going to be continuing my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which is done inside the Dolphin emulator, so it reproduces the full original game. Let me know any tips that you have for that game, and stick around if you want to see that. I'm also going to play more short demos like this one, ones that are not all based around Zelda. And I'm also going to be continuing to play Zelda VR, which is the game-based, the virtual reality version of the original two-dimensional Legend of Zelda. So, stay tuned for all that, and I will see you then. Everybody have a great every day.